Here's a weird one. Let your families be small.
Let's just stop it right there. Don't explain anymore. Just let people stew on that for a minute.
You got to explain this one, because if that's interpreted literally, then you're living in sin.
Where?
You got like 15 kids now, don't you?
I messed it all up, bro. Should have used discernment, and I didn't.
Let your families be small, especially mine aged servant Joseph Smith Sr., as pertaining to those who do not belong to your families. That those things that are provided for you to bring to pass my work be not taken from you and given to those that are not worthy, and thereby you be hindered in accomplishing those things which I have commanded you. I had to read this one a couple times, like that let your families be small as pertaining to those who do not belong to your families. Like, I had to read that one a couple times, like, what is that saying? But there's a context of stewardship here, united order, right? Consecration going on here.
Yeah,
and
that's the important part to understand.
What we have to understand is that, so there's these men that are being called into the united order. And again, these are probably more established individuals in life that are being called to high priesthood functions and roles and leadership in the church. And it's saying, let your families be small as pertaining to those who do not belong to your families, right? So it's saying, use discernment in kind of opening your arms and bringing others into your household and under your arms of charity, let's say, because you are part of this holy order where you are given responsibility and stewardship over a portion of the Lord's kingdom. So what's this is saying is, they've entered in the united order. They've received their stewardship that they are to work with, provide for themselves, and also be a producer for the storehouse for the kingdom. And what the Lord is advising them is, they need to have discernment on how they apply individual acts of charity to those around them, because they have a very important calling and mission in temporal stewardship, in providing and being an anchor for the storehouse. And this is very insightful, because we are taught to have charity, and we are taught to develop the pure love of Christ. And that's 100% true. And I'm not like trying to say, hey, we're not supposed to be charitable to those around us. Like, that's not what I'm getting at. But there is something beautiful about the Lord's system of welfare, about how Zion is structured and the storehouse. Because when you're in a position that you're consecrated and you're providing for sufficient for your needs and just wants, and then all of your excess is going to the storehouse, well, that puts you in a position that month after month, year after year, you really only have what's sufficient for yourself. Therefore, the best thing you can do for others in being charitable is preach the gospel and direct them to the bishop, because the storehouse is the Lord's system, infrastructure, institution of charity. And the judges in Israel are ones that have the keys of temporal discernment on how best to help individuals in temporal needs. So while I'm not saying we shouldn't be charitable and we shouldn't, take the cloak off our back and give it to our brother who's in need, of course we should. But if we're entering into consecration and truly living in a consecrated way, it just might be the case that we have nothing to offer, because we're first and foremost putting our excess into the storehouse, into the kingdom of God. And that I think, when done correctly, is the proper and better system of charity that the Lord has created. Thank you for watching. If you found this content spiritually enlightening, please like, comment, and subscribe.
Like the gospel, these little things make all the difference, and it helps the algorithm push out better content for everyone to enjoy on YouTube.